Hey folks, hope you're doing good today, having a good week so far and all that. Got the new patch sewed onto a cap. My mom did that for me. Thanks very much, Mom. I think it looks cool. If you want to get one of these, head over to the website. All the links are in the description. Look, came out pretty nice. Pleased with it. Now, today we're going to check out 3 cool bands. The reason we got this stuff on is because our great friends, one of the bands we've been following the longest now, who we've seen break out from their bedroom and really the beginnings to now drop in official music videos like we've got today. Very, very cool. This is Quantum Drop Love. These guys, they started out doing kind of pop punk, post-hardcore-y stuff, but the last track that we checked out, nice and heavy, screaming and shouting and chunky riffs and all the rest of it, more metalcore. I'm pretty sure that's what we've got today, but I've lined them up with 2 alt metal bands who I think they're actually going to go with nicely. So we'll just check it out and see what's going on. This is Quantum Drop Love. Their track is called Anhedonia. Let's check it out. Keeping it heavy.
The butterflies in my stomach outside. They've all taken dust and I'm ready to get inside. I got the grass on the sun for what I'm all like. This is something that I love because it's just giving peace. I got pride. As I am relieved. This is the end of me.
Cool bass.
This is the end of me. Liquefy the moments and just freeze them in time. It's just the unraveling of my mind. Like the wax trap on this canvas of mine, and paint a picture of my life.
Grooving out.
They say that's uncured every situation, but nowadays I'm just another symptom. They say the light of the tunnel has a silver lining, but the further I go, I'm fading. Yeah, I can't breathe. As I am alive, that's what I wait.
Breaks into the chorus, cool. The vocal layering sounds good. We've seen that clip way too many times. Yeah. Jesus! Yep.
Dark as a touch, the fire can burn. Heal me in the dark, so the devil ripped away. Dark as a touch, the fire can burn. Heal me in the dark, so the devil ripped away. Liquefy the moments and just freeze them in time. It's just the unraveling of my life. And I have my demise, colors blur before my eyes until that grace become new. Become
Cool. Really enjoyed it. Now these guys just put a big smile on my face because I consider these one of the channel's house bands because we've been following them for so long and we've stuck with them pretty much since day one, where they were just recording in their bedroom and filming themselves in their bedroom, to where they're now putting out proper music videos and have evolved so much in that time. Probably more than any other band, really, because they started out with a lot of ways to go, but they've pushed that, they've kept going and kept heading in the right direction for like 2 years straight now, and they've come so far in that time. Really, really just proud of these guys, without trying to sound patronizing, because I know these guys love being on the show. They send over every one of their tracks, and they love getting the feedback and stuff like that. And I think they like as well to show me and show the audience that they are progressing, they are evolving, they are getting better each time. Look, we've got a music video for this one and stuff like that. So they're proud of themselves with it as well. So sick. Everyone's proud. I think they did a great one on this one. This is their best track so far, in my opinion, because I think the chorus and the singing chorus was the strongest that they've done so far. It dropped into it nicely. It had a good melody to it, had a good emotion to it as well at that point. The chords were right behind the vocal, and I think they did a nice job. So the one thing that's maybe been a bit lacking in the last track, I thought, was that it didn't, the chorus and the vocal melody didn't have the strength that it needed, because you've really got to have a nice, melody for these big metalcore-y type choruses if you're going to drop into it from shouting and stuff. But this one, they nailed it. I thought they did it nicely. They had lots of nice extra bits in this one. The bass slide was nice in there. Some nice little bits on the drums. I liked it where they did the vocal layering on the melodic part as well. That sounded great. Thickened it up and gave it a group feel as well. So they did some nice extra little bits in this one. The groovy section I wasn't expecting as well. Had a nice grooving riff on the guitar. So yeah, these guys are putting together a nice few different kind of elements. They have moved on from their post-hardcore edge and pop-punk. That's less so in this music, although there is a flavour of it still. But I must admit, I think this is where they're doing their best work so far. They're nailing this stuff better than they were doing the stuff before. So I'd just say keep going down this road, guys. You're doing it very nicely. The only thing I'm going to mention now is I have had to turn this mix up slightly today. So I would just look at because you're doing now more punchy music, you need to try and get a loud, punchy mix to go with it. So just try and, Google some videos and stuff like that on how to get the punch out the drums as much as you can, to get the chug out of the guitars as much as you can, because there are tips and tricks to do that. And if you Google, how to get chuggy guitars, you'll find videos on how to do it, EQ tips and things like that. And I would just say as well, with the heavy vocal, try and get that as heavy as you can. Maybe layer it up more, maybe add some distortion layers, like duplicate the vocal within the DAW and add some distortion to one of those layers, pull that back slightly in volume, just so it gives a background kind of raw to the sound, because I think you just want to try and get everything now sounding heavier and louder and punchier and more in your face, because that suits this kind of music nicely, and that is what the standard is for the modern professional mix. So that's really where you want to start heading with it. Sick. Keep up the good work, guys. Always a pleasure to check these guys out on the channel and see how far they've come since the last time we saw them. Now, the next two bands we're going to check out do class themselves as alt metal, but that can mean a lot of different things. I think they've got a singy, emotional edge like the last band we're going to check out. This is Assimilate. The track is called Limerence. These guys got a nice high-quality vid for us as well. Here we go. This one's nice and loud. We got that sliding bass already as well.
I dread the thoughts in my head every single night. I can't hold on to this thread, keeping me alive. Have I begun to decay? 'Cause I know it's true. Will I just wither away, living with
quality band. Yeah, really nice. High quality vid, high quality sound, everything else. These guys are from the UK and they need more listeners. 198. When you're putting out high quality stuff like that, you need way more listeners. Very, very cool. Now, I thought these guys had the right kind of sound that I was saying, you know, that Quantum Drop Love want to start aiming for. Thick, chunky, loud, up in your ears, got a punch to it, feels powerful, supports the melodic vocal more in that way as well. So yeah, I thought the sound on this one was great, really nice. There would have been a little tweak that I would have made to this one. Again, with the vocal, we had the harsh vocal and then we had the softer vocal. The softer vocal, we had tons of reverb and delay, and it gave it an atmosphere and it sat it back in the mix more kind of, you know, atmospheric in that way. And I like that. But the screaming vocal was really quite dry in comparison. It didn't have a lot of reverb on it, if any. Didn't have distortions and fuzzed up and things like that. Didn't have much layering on there either. So it kind of felt like I was saying in one of the videos last week, where you got some people in the swimming pool and then some people outside the swimming pool. And I like to have kind of either everyone out or everyone in the swimming pool in terms of having a wetness and a reverb and that atmospheric feel to it. So what I would have just personally done is put half as much reverb as you had on the melodic vocal onto the screaming vocal, added a bit of distortion layering, like I was saying for Quantum Drop Love on that, just in the background a bit, just duplicate the layers, add some distortion to another layer of the vocal, but pull it back in volume so that it's not in front of the main, of the, the clean vocal. So it's just got a bit of fuzz, got a bit of roughness to it, and with a bit of extra reverb on top of that, again, it sits it back, gives it a bit of atmosphere, and just blends it in more so with the reverby melodic vocal. And that would be all I'll do to this one, because otherwise it sounds really, really great. It's my personal preference that I'm just not very into wet and dry kind of in the same mix. The last one we're going to check out today is called Voice the Chaos. Their track is called Feed in the Flames. Again, these guys call themselves alt metal. Let's just see if we can see where they're from. Doesn't say on there. York, PA. Let's give it a spin. Cool. Nice to get some blast beats in old metal. Yeah. Sick one. I really enjoyed this one. Man, these guys had a cool southern metal groove. Just came through nicely. Thrashing, grooving. Kind of reminded me of Pantera and stuff as well. Had a real bite to the mix in this one as well. Lots of mids and crunch in there, especially in the guitars, just really biting away. Lots of wash from the cymbal as well. Sounded great. I got no issues with the mix on this one. It just came out loud, punching and biting as well. Really kind of had an edge to it. Sick. I enjoyed it a lot. The drummer, I'm pretty sure he must have either been in a death metal band at some point in his life or wants to be in a death metal band later on in his life, because it's not very often that you get two sections of blast beats in an alt metal track or a groove metal track, but I appreciated it very, very much. Sick. He was doing it nicely as well. You could see he had a good style. Very, very nice. So there you go. There's 3 sick bands. I think actually all these 3 bands together have gone together very, very nicely today. I did a good job pulling them out because they've all had that kind of shouting and melodic edge to the vocal, which has worked out to to various different levels in terms of the mix and getting that right dialed in. Because you have, when you transition in from shouting and screaming into singing with a lot of reverb, that's quite a dynamic shift within the vocal. So you've got to support that within the sound as well, so that it's not too jarring and doesn't sound like you're jumping in and out the swimming pool when you transition from one to the next. So that is something you have got to kind of just refine and get right. So it's always worth mentioning when I'm listening to these kind of bands. But I think they've done a good job of it today, and it's been something that's tied all these bands together. What I will say is tied all these bands together as well is some groove, which I wasn't actually expecting, because I wasn't expecting any groove out of Quantum Drop Love, but they had a nice groovy section in there, and it's gone together with the other bands nicely as well. So there you go, these guys are grooving out as well. I always love a bit of groove. Just feels right to move your body and the sound of the guitar grooving out on the riff. Sick. I enjoy it every single time. So there you go, 3 cool bands to check out. I've really enjoyed it today. I always love checking out Quantum Drop Love, especially because every time they impress me a little bit more with what they're doing, and I'm sure that's why they keep sending it over. If they hadn't done that, they wouldn't keep sending it over. Keep sending it over, guys. Doing a great job. We'll see you around tomorrow. We've got some more death metal tomorrow, so check that out. And that's got a groove to it tomorrow as well, Groove in Death. So you might enjoy that if you enjoyed it today, especially this last band with this blast beats. Wasn't expecting that at all. See you tomorrow, guys. Cheers. Bye.